I get those goosebumps every time. I need the Heimlich, throw that to the side. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah, when you're not around.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I just got this Harbor Freight catalog in the mail, and I thought I'd go through it and talk about some of the stuff inside, some of the things I have. Alright, the air compressor, that's a great deal. That's better than what I paid for it. I paid $154 or something, and I think it was a really good deal. Very easy to maintain, very noisy, but it has plenty of power for anything I do, so I think it's a good deal. Their floor jacks are awesome. I have the 2.5 ton low profile jack, and I had no complaints about it. Their tool chests are always a great deal. The build quality on them is pretty awesome also. They have this new Hercules line that they claim beats DeWalt. I'm actually considering going and buying the hammer drill, the driver, and the impact driver. I can't say I really need them, but I'd like to give them a try. And I've heard people say this hose reel is pretty good. I don't think I'd pay $60 for it though. I'd be kind of willing to try that also, but I don't think I'll be getting that. My mom actually has this ladder. It's a really nice ladder, but the rungs are too close together, like the sides. Like if you have big feet like I do, trying to get your feet on one rung, trying to come off a roof or something, I just couldn't do it. So I had to like dangle off the roof to get back onto it. I've heard people say great things about the ammo cans. You know, they're great for storing ammo or pretty much anything. I don't believe they're waterproof, but I mean, I guess you wouldn't be. I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure that Daytona jack is awesome. They had a display model in the store, and I was kind of playing with it. I really liked the yellow paint, and it felt really thick, like it was gonna last a while to paint. But anyway, it looked like a good jack. I don't know if it's probably just repainted Harbor Freight jack. I've never used their miter saw, but I'm sure it's decent, especially for the price. The Hardy work gloves are pretty nice also. And it's pretty cool they started carrying this Bauer line. And so they have a bunch of different tools now that they didn't have before. Now they have this demolition hammer. So that's kind of neat. The Warrior high-speed step drill bits, they're decent for thin sheet metal and stuff. That's the only thing I've ever used it on. Put a few holes in the firewall to run wiring or whatever else. And I kind of wonder about this utility pump. And this drill, if you're on a budget and you don't have a lot of money, 20 bucks, and you get a flashlight, it's a moderately decent drill, especially for 20 bucks. You know, you can hang drywall with it or remove screws or whatever you need to do. But for 20 bucks, it's a pretty decent deal. And I've also seen people box these trailers in, and they look pretty nice. It's kind of cool that they can fold also, in my opinion. Most of the air compressors are pretty decent. I had a friend that had this one, and actually he was able to run impacts and ratchets and all kinds of stuff off it. It wasn't very consistent. He'd have to stop and wait. But it was pretty noisy also. But it did work. And we got this rotary hammer from Bauer. That's also a new thing. I actually have this. It's actually pretty decent, but it's very large and heavy. So if you need to get in a tight space, it's not going to go in there. That's around the same price as the Black & Decker table. And I don't have one, but I considered getting one. I was always kind of questioning about that belt sander, but I've only heard bad things about it, so I decided not to get it. The wooden workbenches, supposedly they're really nice. I considered getting one, but I think I want a tool chest with a wooden top. They actually have one. I don't know if it's in this magazine, but I'll show you the one I'm going to get. The drywall hoist. I've only heard great things about it. I'd actually have one right now because I'm finishing my basement and it would help put the drywall in the ceiling, but I just have so much stuff in my way, so I'm trying to finish the basement with stuff, you know, all over the place, and it just won't roll around in there with all the crap. They have a red wagon, that's kind of neat. If my garage was a little bigger, I'd be getting some of the vehicle dollies. I don't know anything about their winches or welders. The concrete mixer, I've actually used one. I've never owned one. It worked pretty good. It's about the same price as the cheap one at Home Depot, so it may be worth getting. It says compared to the Cobalt one, that's $300. I've heard good things about the foldable shop crane. I plan to get one someday to change an engine. The Warrior titanium drill bit set, it's complete garbage. You have to put a lot of pressure on them to drill into soft wood. I couldn't imagine trying to drill into aluminum or steel or something like that. I'd just save your money and buy something a little better. I actually used one of these. I don't know if it was that one or the 13 ton. It was a smaller one, I think. But it was to get the ball joints out of my control arms. It worked great. Had no complaints there. The 300-pound capacity cargo carrier, you know, it hooks into your tow hitch there. It seems to be a great deal, especially since it's aluminum. It's not going to be so heavy. I'm actually sitting on this bench right now, or this roller seat. It's not comfortable. Feels like it has some cardboard in there. Their breaker bars, awesome, and they're on sale, so it's even better. The multi-tool. I love the one I have. Unfortunately, it's not the Harbor Freight one, but that is a great deal. 25 bucks. I think I paid 60 and it was the cheapest one I could find of a name brand. And there's a lot of times they'll have that on sale for you spend 60 bucks at Harbor Freight and you'll get it for $5. And also their aluminum racing jack, it's also on sale. That's also a good deal. Like I was saying earlier, their jacks are really good. It's a coupon for a 50-foot water hose for 15 bucks. It's probably a good deal. It says it's commercial duty. I actually have this. I have not ever used it. It's still in the box, just sitting on a shelf. I'm kind of waiting until I put my pegboard up to put that up. It's all plastic. Benchtop table saw. They used to not come with a stand. They may or may not now. I'm not sure. But for 100 bucks, I paid 150 for my Craftsman one. But 114, if I would have thought about it, that's the one I would have got. I'm sure their dollies are decent. If you just need a dolly to move your washer dryer around or something. But you can get a Milwaukee one at Menards for $28 or something like that. Their wrenches aren't too bad. Generators, they look like great deals. I don't know. I've never owned a generator. Kind of always wondered about the yard tools. The pressure washer sucks. I took it back the same day I bought it. It worked for about 5 minutes. There's also a restocking fee when you return it. I want to say it was like 10 bucks or 10 or 15 bucks. They probably just thought I used it and brought it back, but it definitely did not work. But I kind of wonder about that chipper shredder. It says you can put 2-inch, 1.5-inch diameter branches into it. I mean, I guess it's not very big, but for brush and stuff, it would definitely take care of it. If anyone has that or has used it, let me know. I'd like to possibly go get that. I'm sure these electrical tools, you know, like the chainsaw and the blower and stuff, work pretty good. There's shovels, not this one specifically, but they're a pretty decent deal, like $8 to $15. and they usually come with a fiberglass handle, and they're pretty sturdy. I had a pickaxe from there, and I don't think I'd buy one from anywhere else. It was a great deal. If I had a bigger yard, I would get a greenhouse, but we don't have one. We have a smallish yard, and putting a big old greenhouse in it wouldn't be acceptable. This stuff's all really cool. Unfortunately, I don't have a use for any of this stuff. Kind of wondered about that tree pruner. I don't know if it's on page there or not. The tree pruner there. If anyone has that, you could let me know, please, how you like it. There's a pipe threading tool. I've never seen that one before. That's kind of neat. I don't have a use for it, but if I ever did, I'd go give it a try. Their drain cleaner, their power drain cleaner, it was awesome. My uncle had one, and every time I ever needed it, he'd come, bring it to me. It was heavy, but it worked. It was way cheaper than calling a plumber. If you needed a car canopy, they have cheap car canopies, 129 bucks. It's probably some kind of cheap tent material, but it probably wouldn't be that bad. Never used any of their winches. I have a friend that has one on the front of a four-wheeler, but I've never seen him use it. It's just kind of there. Like I was saying, that I think that foldable trailer is a good deal. I've seen people put boxes on them. My neighbor down the street actually has one. I don't know anything about their trucker's chains or bungee cords. I'm sure their ratchet straps are pretty good. I think they're actually cheaper at Walmart. I've never used the ramps. The cargo thing seems to be a good deal. They have a steel one for $54.99. Movers dollies. I actually have one of these. I don't remember which one it is, which size offhand, but it's sturdy. I had very heavy aquariums sitting on it, so I moved one with water in them, which you're not supposed to do, but I did anyway. Dollies seem to be a decent deal, but like I said, you can get a Milwaukee one at Menards for like 30 bucks. Ladder is a decent deal. The scaffolding, I almost actually bought that last time I was in the store, but the one they had an open box, but it definitely would have helped me with my project. These sawhorses, you can get a 2-pack for, I don't know, $16. They're flimsy and kind of crappy, but they work. They say they hold 250 pounds or something. I just sit on it. It's like, feels kind of like a Rubbermaid tote material. It's very, very flexible, but they're decent for the price. I had metal ones, but just having to store them, and they just ended up getting dented up and stuff, so I just took them back. They're composite ratchets. Absolutely love them. They have pretty fine teeth for the price. You're not gonna find anything better in that price range than 15 bucks or whatever they cost. Their extensions and stuff, they're all pretty decent. Definitely don't put them on an impact or breaker bar. Breaker bar is awesome. They have all these different kinds of ratchets, like the through the head ratchet. I think that's really cool. I don't own one, but I may get one. I've heard bad things about their tap and die set. Their colored sockets, I actually started out with those before I bought the impact ones, and I cracked almost every one of them. And I'm sure these chromed ones are exactly the same as the colored, just not colored. The locking jaw vice grips, I think they're a great deal. 10 bucks. You can find them on sale for $6.99. I don't have any of the channel locks. I try to avoid their real small tools like the side cutters or dikes or whatever you want to call them. I had a pair of needle nose pliers, so when I squoze it, it broke, and it flew and it cut my eyebrow, and the little springy thing in between the handles, I guess it's just a spring, so it gives a little spring when you let go. it stabbed into my hand. So I was bleeding from the face and bleeding from the hand and just kind of mad in general. They do have a lifetime warranty, but it was like $1.50 or something, and I was just mad, so I threw it away. The screwdrivers, they're iffy. I thought about picking up some of these nut drivers just because they could be convenient to have. I mean, they have a whole screwdriver set for $10. Those Allen keys, the screw that holds the handles together likes to fall out often, so if maybe put a little thread locker on it. These little magnetic strips that are often free, they're really cool, and I always mean to get some when they're free, but I always forget. So I only still have the one. The wrenches, they're pretty decent. I just have the basic long handle set of the SAE and the metric, but they have all different sizes. You know, swivel heads, ratcheting. I had a set of gear wrench ratcheting wrenches, and I didn't really care for them, so I actually. The builder square is decent for the aluminum builder square is decent for $2.99. The tape measures are usually free. The 25-foot one. They do have longer ones, and I believe they have shorter ones. Crowbars and files and chisels. I really don't think you can go wrong with those. I own a set of the files and this set of chisels with the PVC handle. I'm sure those axes are semi-decent because they have that fiberglass handle I was talking about with the pickaxe. Their calipers, I've never owned one. They have 4 or 5 stars on there. I'm sure they're, you know, just like any other Chinese caliper. The locking utility knife, I feel like you could get a better name, you know, like a Cobalt one or something from Lowe's for probably about the same price, and it probably come with some blades. The mechanics tool sets, I don't have enough faith in all their tools to buy the big sets, but for $129 for 225 pieces, it's probably not that bad of a deal, especially if you don't have any other tools. I love the ratcheting clamps, the ratchet bar clamp spreaders. I have 3 or 4 different sizes. I don't know if they make any. I think they had some real big ones too. The ammo cans, I've heard great things about those. They're pretty much always on sale for like $4.99, maybe $3.99. I'm not real sure. Dead blow hammer, most of the time those are on sale also. I think those are a great price, and I mean you can really beat the shit out of them, and they don't break. Rubber mallet, $2.99. It's a pretty good deal. The V-shape hang-alls right here. They're $1.99. I own about 6 of them to hang water hoses on, air hoses, extension cords. Unfortunately, they don't come with any kind of hardware, but you just kind of mount it to the wall with some screws. The Voyager tool bags. I just have, I don't know which one it is, I don't remember which size it is offhand, but I've had it for about 5 or 6 years. It's been tossed around and beat up and oil dripped on it and everything else, and it's still a very sturdy bag. So, you know, keeping some of them big bulky tools in, like a circle saw or something like that, I think they'd be very good for that. Now, they often give this 4-in-1 screwdriver away for free. It's a complete piece of crap. Alright, in the toolboxes, I actually considered pretty much all of these. This was the one I was like kind of settled on getting, but then I seen this one from Yukon. This seems to be something new that they're carrying, but anyway, it's got a solid wood top. I thought that was awesome that you could, you know, mount your table vise on there or something, and it's got wheels so you can roll it around. So that was a pretty cool thing. I probably will get this. It says it has a 1,200 pound capacity. Seems to be a great deal, and I've heard people say that the bottom drawers are pretty big, like they were able to store quite a bit of stuff in there. So that may just be what I get instead of a workbench. Unfortunately, it's also one of those things that's excluded from the coupons. I'm sure these tool carts are decent, you know, as far as just carts go to move things around. The bins, the only one I have is this, and I still haven't used it. But I love the magnetic parts bowls. Usually they have one that's free. And I also have this paper towel holder. I actually love it. I'm actually getting ready to order another one. I may even get one and put it in the kitchen. They're very strong, easy to change out the paper towels, no big deal. The jacks, they're all pretty good. The heavy duty jack stands, I don't know if they make them. I don't know if this is the ones I have or not. But some of them have a real deep V and they don't work very well on my car. Those don't seem to be it. All the jacks that I've ever used from Harbor Freight, I've never heard anything bad about them. The creepers, they're both horrible. I actually seen, we have a store around here. It's called Farm and Home. You know, it's kind of like a miniature Lowe's, I guess. You know, it's got weed eaters and stuff. They actually had those for $5, and they're bad. I actually bought one from Jegs. It's identical to that one, other than being black and saying Jegs on it, and it's horrible. They are horrible creepers. If you're gonna buy a creeper, to spend a little more money, get a better one. I've never used any of these motorcycle lifts or tractor lifts or any of that stuff. Grease guns, I feel like you could probably get a better deal at Walmart for that exact gun. Probably wouldn't be Pittsburgh, but it would just be something else. I own that. I actually got it on sale for $17 or something. It's a pretty decent deal. You can bleed your brakes by yourself. You don't need to get in the car and pump it up or anything. The ramps, I've heard people say they're great, but they're almost the same price as the Rhino ramps. And I think they're more expensive than the cheap off-brand ramps at Walmart. So, you may just want to get them there. And there's the parts bowl I was talking about. That's one of my favorite things from Harbor Freight. It was, you know, and being free made it even better. I've never used oil wrenches. I've always just taken them off by hand. And the few times I couldn't, I just rammed a screwdriver through it and twisted it off that way. Plastic pry tools, they can be bought way cheaper online. I've never used any of the steering wheel pullers or 3-jaw pullers or any of that stuff. I've actually used the spring compressors before. They were moderately decent. I've heard the tap and dies are crap. I've never seen, even on their website, I don't think it's 5 stars. They might have exaggerated that a little. The slide hammer and bearing puller set, it's probably a good deal. I don't have a slide hammer, but if I did, that's probably the one I'd get. The gloves, they're all decent. All the ones I've used. I bought a bunch of the Nerdle. I guess that's how you say it, Nerdle. Is that? And the mechanics gloves, I actually have this pair. They're decent. I've had almost every other brand, and they're comparable to the, you know, the mechanics brand or the Craftsman or the Lowe's or the Napa. The starter jump packs, never used them. I do have the float charger, and I use it quite often. The multimeter, horrible. I really like the solid rubber wheel chock. I use that quite often also. Never used any of the inspection cameras or inverters or the OBD2 scanners. Never had any of the safes. Never even really paid attention to them. Surveillance system. Seems like a pretty good deal, but I'm sure you can get a better deal on like eBay or Amazon or something. This wireless security system thing, if you had a semi-long driveway or you wanted to know when someone was coming to the door, you could use that and it would beep and let you know someone's moving around out there. Super glue, you get 3 for $1.50. That's a pretty decent deal. The terminal set, 520 pieces for $11. That's a pretty good deal, but they're those connectors are a little on the cheap side. I actually have a little set of those, and I've used them, but the plastic on the thing is like hard. It doesn't stay formed when you compress it down. The wire thing, I've heard it's a great assortment to have if you do a lot of wiring and stuff. I considered picking it up once, but I never did. I'm sure their lights are just as good as anyone else's. I haven't personally used any of those. I really like these. They're free often. They got a magnet on the back and a hook. When I was changing my wheel bearings and shocks and struts and stuff, I could stick those up in the fender well and light my way when I was working on things, in the early evening or night. I always wanted to try one of these solar panels, but I never got around to it. It just doesn't seem like something I'd really need. If I had a shed that was out back or something, I guess it would be good to put it on there just to run a light or charge a battery or something. Wire running kit, I feel like that could be very useful. You get 33 feet for $10. I feel like that's a really good deal. I don't know that for a fact, but that's just my opinion. Their extension cords, I know for a fact the orange ones, they're pretty decent. I don't know how long the jacket on them will last, because it feels like kind of like a pool toy. It's like PVC or something. It's real flexible. I just don't see it lasting very long. I feel like it'll dry rot or something. The TV mounts, $25, up to 70 inches. It's probably a good deal. I don't really see how they could mess up TV mounts, but I guess if anyone could do it, it'd be Harbor Freight. These 4-foot 12 outlet metal power strips. I actually have 3 of them, and I need a few more. I feel like they're really good quality, and I definitely will be getting more. Like I was just saying, the heat gun, for not much more, you can get a better branded one, and less than their Chicago Electric. So I'd probably just avoid that. I've heard good things about their paint spray gun. I mean, it's $20. I don't really see how I could go wrong. I wouldn't try to paint a car with it, but you should be able to paint a fence or something with it. I've never used that one or seen anyone use it. Detail brush set. That's a good deal for $2. Welders. I haven't got one of their welders yet. I do plan on it. They usually have one for like $79. So maybe I'll get one of those sometime soon. Welding helmets and gear. Cement mixer, scroll saw, bench grinder. I've never used any of that stuff. Since someone that had the anvil, it seemed like a pretty good deal if you needed an anvil. If you did some metal work or something. I can't say it broke or anything because I didn't see that part. Didn't see that far into it. The angle grinders, the cheap one is pretty shitty. If you can get them to work, if you just needed to cut something off, and you weren't going to be running it a whole long time, and you didn't want to spend $40 on a better one or $30, I guess it could be a great deal. It's commonly on sale for like $8.99. I'm sure this red-bodied one is much better, and I bet this blue one, I've been told, is way better than both of those. So, and I think they made a Hercules one too, so that may be something to look out for. I actually have the cheap reciprocating saw. I got it on sale for like $17.99 or $15.99, something like that. It was under $20. It's been pretty great. Obviously, it's not the most durable tool, but for under 20 bucks, it's a great tool. Swivel head shears. I've always kind of wondered about those, but I don't do enough metal cutting to worry about it. I've heard bad things about these table vices. I've heard people setting things on there and hammering on them, and they crack. So then they're completely garbage. This orbital jigsaw, you can get the same one at Walmart for under $20. I forgot what the brand they call it, but the one at Walmart's a great deal, and it's decent. It has a spot to hook up like a shop vac, so you don't get dust everywhere. It doesn't collect it all, but it does collect a bunch of it. Never used any of their miter saws or blades. I've always kind of questioned things like that from there. The oscillating multifunction power tools, I really love mine. Like I was saying earlier, I feel like they're probably a good deal. You know, there's all kinds of attachments: sandpapers, scrapers, blade for wood, metal, plastic, plunge cuts. Pretty much that tool does everything. Tile saws and stuff, I've never used any of those, never used any of the buffers. I did have this, it was that sander. It was a total turd, quit after about 6 months, and that was I only used it a handful of times. I always see people coming in and when I'm in Harbor Freight, they always buy the rock tumblers and the media for them. I don't know what they're using them for, but like I said, I always see people buying them. I actually have this rotary tool and that one. This one came with a case, and that one was decent for what I used it for, but then I ended up buying this one and I haven't touched that one again since. It's much cheaper than a Dremel, obviously, and just buy Dremel accessories. You get the best of both worlds. That's decent. They're electric impact. I've never used any of their corded drills. I'm sure they're decent for the money, but I can't say for sure. This little close quarters drill looks kind of neat. I also seen that they had a battery operated ratchet. I don't see it in this magazine yet, but I see it on their website. It's from the Bauer people. I'll probably be picking that up also. Pretty much anything Drill Master, just stay away from, because for not much more you can get Chicago Electric and it's better. Warrior drill bits and things I try to avoid when I can, unless there's no other option, or sometimes I just give in. I actually broke all 3 of these. I bragged on them in another video saying I liked them, but they are total turds. In the spade paddle bit set, you put some holes through a few studs and you're going to realize that most of them are crooked, and they only make about 2 or 3 holes before they are not sharp anymore. Step drill bits I think are a pretty good deal, as long as you only stick to thin sheet metal or maybe wood, but anything a little thicker than like a 1/8 of an inch, they probably won't work and probably break. Air compressors, most of them are a pretty decent deal. This one's on sale, as you're seeing on the front. That's actually the one I have. It runs all my air tools, runs my nailers, grinders, all that good stuff. I've heard good things about the earthquake tools, and as you can see, they have the battery operated one now. That's probably the one I would go ahead and get. I like being able to take them to a friend's house or something without lugging around the air compressor. And there's the cordless ratchet. It's 99 bucks. This is compared to Snap-on. And then the extra battery is 20. I actually got online on their website and read the reviews, and everyone says great things. I don't know if you can trust the reviews or not, but I definitely will be trying that out. There's a coupon in here for 20 off the earthquake impact wrench. Any earthquake impact wrench. Impact sockets are great. Can't really go wrong with those. I've never heard of anyone breaking them. Not even in a professional setting. Shot press, awesome. Works great if you need to push out some ball joints or press some in. I'm sure there's a lot more uses, but that's the only thing I've used it for. I knew someone that had the blast cabinet. I never heard him complain about it, so it must have been semi-decent. The tire changer, that thing's horrible. The nailer, I have the 21 degree and the finished nailer. The 21 degree, the large framing nailer, it works great. When I didn't know what I was really doing with it, it wasn't the best. The instruction manual was not great. But anyway, after I started using it and I figured it out, it's giving me no problems, no jams, actually not one jam. And I put up like a whole room of studs. I've never used any of the nailer staplers. I kind of wanted to pick one up and they were on sale for like $12 or something, but I didn't. Paint guns, never used them. Never used any of the air hammers or drills or anything like that. I do have the die grinder, which I still have not used. There's a little sander. And I got the impact also. The impact obviously is not the most powerful, but for the $15 I paid for it with the coupon, I think it's a great deal. I don't think you get anything else close to it for that price. The Diablo air hose, I had the red one. I got it on sale for 25 bucks. I really like that hose. They're PVC air hoses. I'd probably just avoid them. Spend a little more and get you a better hose. This is the one I got for 15 bucks with the coupon. I have limited use with it, but so far it's decent. It does take my lug nuts off. You can tell it's struggling a little. But like I said, for 15 bucks, you can't really complain. I'm just happy it works. The professional ratchet, I have very limited use with it. I just kind of hooked it up and made sure it worked. Took a bolt off and put it back. Gotta kind of watch it though, because it can be a knuckle buster. Alright, the Hercules. Like I said, I think I'm going to actually go pick up all three of these. I'm really curious to see how well they work. They also have the Bauer ones over here for slightly less. So I don't know which one I'll end up with, but they're both 20 volt. I've heard great things about the Hercules one. They're not really cheaper than the comparable DeWalt one, because you can find the DeWalt ones on sale. And the Bauer's got all kinds of things going on here. Cordless planer. Jackhammers. Demolition hammers, excuse me. Right angle drill. Yeah, you can put a right angle. Anyway, Bauer's got a lot of stuff going on here. Hammer drills, demolition hammers, jackhammers, 13 amp 2-speed, half-inch heavy-duty right angle drill kit. That's kind of neat. I can't think of anything I'd really need it for, but it's something I'd like to have. But anyway, that's it for this thing. I hope you enjoyed me reading the Bible of Bad Tools and giving you my opinion. If you wouldn't mind subscribing, I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you around.